So glad you are here. Don't we all love a little song and a little dance? Whether or not we can sing and dance, it sure is fun to just let loose and do it. So I was swaying back in my chair. I'm Sandra Champlain, if we haven't met yet, and we've been doing these Sunday gatherings for just over 2 years. Absolutely crazy, but we try to delight you with joy and love, with a new theme every week. We reunite the two worlds with our mediumship demonstration. And this week, we hope to bring a little comfort and joy to you, and hope as well. With us today, I know I could say this morning, this afternoon, or this evening, because we have a global community here. We have two special guests. We have Shirley Ann Sharp, who will be doing our demonstration of mediumship. It's bright and early for Shirley Ann, as she is down under. I think it's 6 a.m. for her. We have Mary Alice Coleman, who will be doing our address, and she's on the West Coast of the United States. We have the fabulous Darren Wynn, who is in England, and he will be doing our reading and our prayers and talking to us a little bit about healing as well. And I'll be behind the scenes and giving you some thoughts for the week. You bet I will. And also being part of behind the scenes with the mediumship demonstration. Now you might ask, where are the familiar faces of Carrie McLeod and Philip Dykes? Well, they actually get to be at a service live with people right in front of them. They are at the Longton Spiritualist Church. And I do believe you've met our friends Mitch and Kath Shirley, who've been on our Sunday gathering before. Well, Kath is the president of the Longton Spiritualist Church, and so she's taking good care of Phil and Carrie now. But Carrie is kind of behind the scenes of all this. She picked our music for our service today. So they are still here, and you bet they'll be watching it later. So I'm going to turn it over to Darren for our opening prayer.
Thank you for that wonderful intro, Sandra, and a massive welcome to all of you. And it's an absolute privilege to work for the first time with Mary Alice and for the second time with Shirley Ann. And I'm really looking forward to having a great service with you all. So if you'd all like to close your eyes and join me for the opening prayer. As we come together here today, we come together united as one, united under that banner of We Don't Die. We unite together from different countries across our land. We unite together speaking different dialects. We unite together coming from different upbringings and different backgrounds and different understandings. But we come here today united as one in love, hope and peace. And in doing so, we come together in the hope that we may unite our world with that world that we know as the unseen world. As we entered into this experience together, we come together as one, putting aside our own desires, our own needs, and coming together to allow our workers here in front of us today to be free and open to truly work on behalf of that world we know as unseen, so we can have those moments of healing, upliftment and love, and truly embrace that joy and love of uniting the two worlds together as one. To our dear friends, helpers and loved ones of that world we call unseen, we ask that you be here with us once again today to share that healing balm. Allow us to hear those words of wisdom and those words of truth, which in turn brings us joy and upliftment. Our workers here today deem it an absolute joy and privilege to work on behalf of your world, to work with your world and represent your world. And within our own unique ways, we will represent you in the best way we know how, and we hope we can do you proud. As we open up our Sunday gathering in a theme of hope and comfort, we do this with smiles upon our faces, positivity within our mind, and pure love within our hearts, so that we can create that right environment in order for us to all work together and unite together as one. And we ask throughout this gathering and beyond that a light is shone across our globe to help bring hope and comfort to all those minds across the world that are in need at this time. So without further ado, my friends, we open up this Sunday gathering. So welcome to you all. Amen. Okay, I have a very short reading for you today. I was trying to find, you spend a lot of time trying to find the perfect reading. And for some reason, I was drawn to this one. It kind of jumped out at me. It's a very short one, but I think it kind of hits where the point it needs to hit. So I hope you agree. It's called The Two Hospital Patients. Two men, both seriously ill, occupied the same hospital room. One man was allowed to sit up in his bed for an hour each afternoon to help drain the fluid from his lungs. His bed was next to the room's only window. The other man had to spend all his time flat on his back. The men spoke for hours on end. They spoke of their wives and families, their homes, their jobs, their involvement in the military service where they had been on holiday. And every afternoon, when the man in the bed by the window could sit up, he would pass the time by describing to his roommate all the things he could see outside the window. The man in the other bed began to live for those 1 hour periods where his world would be broadened and enlivened by all the activity and colour of the world outside. The window overlooked a park with a lovely lake. Ducks and swans played on the water while children sailed their model boats. Young lovers walked arm in arm amidst flowers of every colour of the rainbow. Grand old trees graced the landscape, and the fine view of the city skyline could be seen in the distance. As the man by the window described all of this in exquisite detail, the man on the other side of the room would close his eyes and imagine the picturesque scene. One warm afternoon, the man by the window described the parade passing by. Although the other man couldn't hear the band, he could see it in his mind's eye, as the gentleman by the window portrayed it with descriptive words. Days and weeks passed. One morning, the day nurse arrived to bring water for their baths, only to find the lifeless body of the man by the window, who had died peacefully in his sleep. She was saddened and called the hospital attendants to take the body away. As soon as it seemed appropriate, the other man asked if he could be moved next to the window. The nurse was happy to make the switch, and after making sure he was comfortable, she left him alone. Slowly, painfully, he propped himself up on one elbow to take his first look at the world outside. Finally, he would have the joy of seeing it for himself. He strained to slowly turn to look out the window beside the bed. It faced a blank wall. The man asked the nurse what could have compelled his deceased roommate, who had described such wonderful things outside this window. The nurse responded that the man was blind and could not even see the wall. She said, perhaps he just wanted to encourage you, to give you and everyone else hope, which in turn brought you those moments of comfort. I'm now going to move into the healing segment. And I know for many times we spoke about various healing, how healing works. And I know Kerry a couple of weeks ago went through great detail and the wonderful explanation of how the healing power works. And I just want to say, last week I wasn't online because my dad was taken in for serious operation. And I know it's very hard sometimes to quantify or justify how healing works. And I'm not a scientific person, so I can't say for sure that it worked, but I'm sure it did. And just knowing the intent behind, and the messages that I got from people, that in itself is healing. Knowing that people have that intent to bring that healing, bring that comfort, bring that joy, and bring that love. That in itself can bring healing in so many ways you would not believe. And I truly felt that healing power last week. So I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart, because it truly did make a difference. And I know we sit week in, week out, giving that healing. And like I said, sometimes it's probably not until we're in the unseen world ourselves that we may be lucky and privileged to look back and see the difference we have all made week in, week out with that intent and that power of sitting together, sending out that healing thought. So that's exactly what we're going to do now. And the song we've got to listen to, it's one of my favorites, and I'm sure it's one of Sandra's, because those of you that was online earlier may have heard that Sandra's going to see Josh Groban in concert. And one of his big songs is You Raise Me Up. And it's one of the best songs. It's one of my all-time favorites. And I'm sure it's one of your favorites as well. And, you know, the words are very apt for sitting for healing. When you think of the words, you raise me up, and that's what we're doing. When we're sending out healing, when we're sending out that healing thought, we're trying to raise people up. We're trying to make people happy. We're trying to send out that healing balm to make them feel better, inspired. And that's what you guys did for me last week. And I truly did feel it. So what I want you to do in a minute, as Sandra cues the music up, I just want you all to close your eyes, listen to the words being sung, and let's all collectively send out that healing balm to the world that is in need at this time. But you may also have someone close to you, a loved one, a friend, that you may wish to send this healing power to personally. So please, if there's somebody close to you that needs that healing power at this moment, don't be afraid. Keep them in your mind and send those positive thoughts towards them. But more importantly, let's do it all collectively, and let's truly make a difference in this world. So thank you, Sandra.
Now over to Mary Alice.
Hi, good morning. Sorry, that song always gets to me, and for a good reason. I'm so glad to be here. I can't even tell you. I want to say good day, good evening to wherever you are. And this topic of hope and comfort is so beautiful. And as I thought about it a lot this week, so much came to my mind. Because the word hope itself, like any word that comes out of our mouth, has great meaning and intention and vibration. And it's a word that has the meaning of expectation, of trust, of desire, of anticipation. And I think oftentimes when we think of hope, we don't think of those words specifically, the meaning of it. It's almost like we're like, oh, I hope that works. And we cross our fingers, and it's almost like we're throwing up a wish with good intention. But hope means so much more than that. And along with comfort, could be physical comfort, mental ease comfort, could be financially stable where you have the comforts of life, as they say. But did you know, as I delved into this, that hope and comfort is a working mechanism? And I want to talk about that because it is so, so important. It's important to our soul. It's important to our life. It gives the human connection with spirit. It's exciting. So I'm going to tell a little story here. Imagine this. Imagine you're watching your toddler or a niece or a nephew or a grandchild, and they're just little, maybe 2, 2.5. And they're playing outside and having a good time. And boom, for the first time, they have their really major big fall. And they really get hurt. It's not just falling on their bum when they get back up. They're hurt and they're shocked. And what do? With compassion and love, we go over and we comfort them. We pick them up, we put them aside or bring them in the house, and we tell them it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And all they can focus on is maybe the blood coming out of their knee or their elbow or the pain that they're feeling. And we also know there's going to be a little more pain because we have to clean those wounds. But all the while, we're talking them through it. We're comforting them. So it's going to be okay. As soon as we clean this, you get a little biscuit or cookie and you'll be back outside in 10 minutes. And we're instilling hope in that child. Now, we know we don't even have to hope. We know they're going to be okay. We've come beyond that small child in that moment because we know that it's going to be okay. It's going to heal. Those wounds are going to heal. So I want to use that as a platform here of that belief, of that comfort and hope. And if we look to the external world and what's going on right now, I know all of us are aching. We see what's going on. We see the pain of people having to rush for their life with only the clothes on their back. We see this crazy war going on. Where are they going to go? What are they going to do? They're not even hoping, they're just hoping that the next step they take, their life will be saved. And then other parts of the country, famine, where children are starving. We see pictures of mothers just hopeless, not knowing what to do. In other parts of the country, world, we see they're surrounded by their enemy. No food or medical supplies can go in or out. Oh my gosh, I don't know about you, but sometimes I feel overwhelmed with the pain. And there's nothing we can do, or is there? We can't control it, we can't fix it. But we can bring the hope to them through prayer, through sitting quietly, through intention of seeing and envisioning a better world. We can envision a celebration of freedom, renewing and rebuilding. We can see children with their bellies full of good food and sleeping well at night. We can see, envision, and feel the people getting the medical supplies they need for comfort and for healing. And if we bring it closer to home in our own communities, friends, family, neighbors, all of us, one time or another, I'm sure, have experienced someone we love going through a difficult time. In fact, we're all here having been through a difficult time of loss and grief. But with friends and neighbors, what do? Immediately, we bring comfort. Immediately, we bring a meal, we buy groceries, we might clean their house. We might sit in silence as they cry and share their pain. That comfort we bring brings hope. Hope is when we put hope in action, it brings comfort. And the comfort we bring brings hope. It's just a circle that goes both ways. And I know that for us, all of us here, we've all been on one end or the other, haven't we? We've been in a situation where people have surrounded us with hope and love and support, or we've given it. And it's a marvelous part of the mechanism of life and being the hands and feet of spirit to bring love and comfort to others when they need it, and for them when we need it. Now, if we bring it closer to home, real close on a personal level, and we think about hope and the words we say, I want to go back to just the word itself, like hope. And, sometimes, I hope that surprise party goes well. I hope I get that job, or I hope she does this, or I hope, and it's all really wonderful and good. And we mean well when we say those words, but we forget the intention behind it, of expectation, of belief, of trust. And so when it comes to ourselves, and we are dealing with something major in our life, a loss of a loved one, serious illness, you lost your job, any scenario, many of us have been through these, a divorce, and we're hurting. And it's like this, like that child, this is all we see. And that's a human reaction, and it's normal because we are so deep in it. It's hard to have the hope. It's hard to have the faith. Hope is not unlike faith. But with hope, people come around us, they surround us, they help us, they guide us, they love us, they give us wisdom, they feed us in those moments when we just can't do it ourselves. I know I've been there, and I know many of you have been there in those moments. Just like that small child, that's all they can think about is the scrape on their knee. But in a bigger picture, it's deeper wounds when we're adults. One thing I want to remember, and I know personally I need to remember more, and talk about hope and talk about comfort, is the spirit world all around us. Because there are moments, and I'm not naive to the fact that some people are alone and they might not have the support they need during difficult times. It's hard. But if we remember and say, oh, this room is filled with loved ones. This room is filled with the guides and angels that surround me. And most of all, the infinite, unconditional love that radiates. And we can almost feel it when we concentrate, but we're not alone. No, we might not have a physical presence, but more so, our soul is attached to this, to the spirit world, to God, to the universe, the divine spirit, whatever words you want to put to that. Beautiful, beautiful light and love. So I want to go back to that child. Let's say this child now is happy, well, playing. And now they go, Mommy, Mommy, I want that toy for Christmas. Mommy, Mommy, let's write it down. Let's tell Santa Claus, I want it, you know? And I remember being little, being there, I want that bike. I hope it's under the tree, you know, that kind of thing. We hope and hope and hope. And we trust and we believe. We, you know, will bribe God. You know, if I get this, I'll do this. All that. We've all been there. And so Christmas morning comes, that child goes down there. Oh, it's not there. What they wanted wasn't there. There were other things, other nice things, but what they really wanted wasn't there. Oh, all hope is lost. But is it really? How many of us had really prayed and hoped and wanted and longed for and anticipated a certain outcome for ourselves or somebody else? And that just didn't happen. It doesn't mean all hope is lost. It doesn't mean those prayers weren't heard. What I've learned and experienced in my life when those moments have happened is this. There is a whole realm going on behind us and around us, creating, giving us guidance and help and hope and direction in a way in which usually the outcome is much better than what we could envision in the beginning. They're always around us, loving us, guiding us, giving us hope, help, and wisdom. I've had those moments where it's like, oh gosh, you work so hard, you hope, you do this, you do that, and it just didn't turn out. But I learned with patience and understanding the bigger picture, things usually turn out better than what I could have hoped for or thought about. And sometimes that is just the fact that we're growing. Sometimes that outcome is personal growth or spiritual growth or an awakening or an understanding or a connection with a new friend. It can go beyond what we can imagine. Hope is never lost, ever. And it's beautiful. You know, last time I was on, I think it was last fall, and I did share about a really difficult time that I had about, well, it wasn't the only one, but it was over 40 years ago. And the fact I'm saying over 40 years ago out of my mouth is like, oh my gosh, how old am I? But at the time I had an infant and a toddler, and it was rough, and I was depressed, and I was uncertain, and I was scared, and I didn't talk about it to anybody really. I held it inside because I thought, you know, something I just have to deal with. And I shared with you, I'll make this story a little shorter, but I shared with you that I went to this gathering of women that I would participate in twice a month. And there was a woman there I looked up to. She was kind of a mentor. She was older than me, and she saw the pain in my eyes, and she could see soul to soul what something she had experienced in her life. And I told you she took me to the side, put her arm around my shoulder, and shared with me some great advice and comfort. I didn't say what it was, but I'm going to tell you now, because I trust somebody listening, this will be helpful. She told me, she said, Mary Alice, just do the next thing. I'm like, next thing, what does she mean? She goes, when you get home and you have a spot of just mental, physical energy, just do the next thing that you think needs to be done. I said, okay. She says, get back to me. I said, okay. So the next morning I got up, I took care of the children and did what I needed to do. And I thought about her words and I thought, okay. I mean, I think many of us understand being so depressed and so in this funk that you haven't a mental energy to even hope for anything. It's just like you're a robot. That's where I was at this time of my life. I did the next thing. I went, okay, I've got laundry to do. I've got to do the laundry. I did the laundry. And in doing the laundry, oh my gosh, that empowered me. I felt like, well, that wasn't so bad. I can do that. Okay, what's the next thing? I had to run an errand I've been putting off. I swaddled up the kids. It was a cold day. I put them in the car. I went and did that, got what I needed to do, came home, and I went, oh, I felt so accomplished. Now, the feeling I had of more hope and comfort in that didn't change my circumstances, but it empowered me. And it reminded me that there's more inside me than I give myself credit for. There is that grain of sand, the mustard seed of faith that lives in all of us. It's there. And it's so small, sometimes it gets lost in the fray of our minds or feelings, but it's there. And it's just taking that moment to remember. I've enjoyed so much going over this topic. And I want to remind us all that hope is trust and belief. And they're like the three amigos. And they're not unlike faith. It's having to believe that things we can't see, but to trust that there's a lot going on around us for our benefit, and to start believing in the better outcomes. Because when we don't get that toy, so to speak, when we don't see exactly what we want to happen, just know that there's better behind that, and for good reason, and that the spirit world is always working to our good, not to harm us, not to upset us, not to depress us, not to make us sad. But there's always the love and the goodness behind it. And so in the beginning, when I said hope is an operating mechanism, what I mean is when we hope, and the action, we have to take action when we hope, whether it's through prayer, intention, giving to somebody. When we do that, that brings comfort to the people or person. And with that comfort comes hope for them. They develop hope for themselves, and trust and belief, just like that small child. We've all been there, that small child. We got our first big bump. Maybe teen years it happens, and they go to sports and they're playing football, American football, baseball, track, no matter what, they fall and they might break their arm next time. Now, a teenager is going to be very annoyed by that because it upsets their social life and dating life and, driving. But they also know that it's going to heal. By then, their faith, their hope is turned into faith. They know it's going to heal. It's just going to take time. It's going to be annoying, but it'll take time. And like us, we've been through enough in our life, so many different things and scenarios, that we can have not only the hope and the comfort, but the faith, knowing that it's going to turn out okay. It might take time. It's going to take patience. We might be in a state of uncertainty, not knowing. But knowing we have loved ones and friends all around us to support us as we support them and love them and give them comfort when they need it, which will supply hope. Again, it's that circle. Life is so much better when we work as a team here on earth and with the spirit world. So I just want to leave it there. And thank you so much for allowing me to share this. And I trust that the rest of your day or evening is going to be a blessing. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much, Mary Alice. For me, just what I needed to hear. We've got some hands being raised in gratitude. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Very nice. Before we move on to our medium demonstration, something just came to mind to share with you. Hang on one second. Because all of us hopefully know the power of prayer. Tomorrow, Mavis Patilla is going to be doing a Ukrainian peace vigil. It'll be just an hour of sitting. She'll be leading you through a contemplation with your eyes closed. For anyone that wants to join, it is completely free. It's hosted by our friend Nick. And you would go to banyanretreat.com. And it's much like our Sunday gathering. You'll get a Zoom link, your personal Zoom link to join. It starts 1 hour before we start our Sunday gathering. So wherever you are in the world, it's just 1 hour before. So if you're on one of our online classes, you can still be on them and sit for this. And I just know that there's so many of us that say, like Mary Alice says, what can we do to give? And we can pray. We can just sit there and let our energy be used for a greater power. So I'm just leaving it up for a moment. If you want to write down the website, banyanretreat.com. That's the easiest way to go register. And I welcome everyone to join us for that. I think it'll be very special. And Mavis, oh, she's a rare one. She's one of the last great mediums trained by Gordon Higginson that we have left on this earth. She's a very special woman, and we're so grateful that she's offering us. All right, completely free tomorrow. So we're going to move on to our demonstration of mediumship, and we have the most beautiful Shirley Ann Sharp with us here. So happy about that. And if this is your first time at one of our Sunday gatherings, or if you just love to hear me when I talk about this, we're going to tell you how it goes. Shirley Ann is both a medium and has been a constant student in our courses, just to do her very best for humanity on both sides. And a spirit person, as we are still people when we transition, will be in touch with her. And while there could be a couple hundred of us on our Sunday gathering, our loved ones are all behind the scenes. So they have it all orchestrated, who's going to step forward. And one of them is going to put their thoughts and memories and maybe pictures into Shirley Ann's being. And she'll do her very best for us to describe that person. So in her first few statements, she might say, I've got a husband here who did this or that. And we want everyone to listen in for these first bits of information. Because it always is a large audience, we ask that if you can understand all the bits of the information she shares at the beginning, we'll ask you to press your raise hand button. Now, on different devices, the raise hand button is in different places. So if you want to just go find where that is, and if you want to press the button right now just to see what happens, it's always fun. I know there's people that have been here all 2 years, and it's still fun to press that button. You can't take the little kid out of us, can you? And then it'll say lower hand. So you want to press that again to put your hand down. Very good, very good. And sometimes it takes a couple of minutes, as sometimes there's several people that can take the information, but Shirley Ann will sort it out with the spirit world, and we will invite you to press your unmute button. Now, you won't see your unmute button until I press something on my side, so don't drive yourself crazy looking for it. At what time the person who works with Shirley Ann, she will be giving information and a message usually within that information from your loved one in spirit. And it's a wonderful opportunity for us all to be on the edge of our seats and listen in, because I find the messages that come through, the information, it serves us all as a reminder that all of our loved ones are around, and how close they are and how much love and support they have for us. But if you are chosen to work with Shirley Ann, as she's delivering this information, we want you to just say one of three things: yes, no, or I don't know. We want your confirmation, or if you can't take it, be honest and let her look into that information more. And we want everybody to be certain that it is Shirley Ann connecting with the spirit world, that you're not volunteering this information. So what's customary is we always play a piece of feel-good music just to rock back and forth. We all love to sing and dance, as I said, just to feel good. It's a beautiful time to think about your loved ones. They're in the room with you, whether you invite them there or not. I think they love the Sunday gathering as much as we do. So just picture them by your side and enjoy the music, put a smile on your face, and we always feel good at this time. So here we go. Let's hear our song. Just find it for you. All right, here we go. Wonderful. Well, we are back and we have Shirley Ann with us. Hi, Shirley Ann.
Hello, Sandra. And it's so nice to be here again. And gosh, hello to everybody out there. Isn't this an exciting time? We can just all come together for the one single reason. So I'm just so proud to be here. Now, as I move my awareness to the spirit world, I know I'm looking for somebody here. I feel it as Mum, and I feel as though I'm at a military funeral. And I feel this is somebody in your family that has had a military funeral. So Sandra, can we, I actually feel it's son, but we'll see what we have out there.
Okay.
Information.
And you're looking for the mother, is that what you're saying? Or the mother's in the spirit world?
No, Mum's here.
Mom's in our group.
Son is in the spirit world.
Okay, and there's a military funeral. Okay, all right. If you can understand that information, we ask you to press your raise hand button. All right, we've got Kelly with us. And Kelly, if you can find the unmute button that should now be on your screen and press it. Hi, Kelly.
Hi there.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Hello, Kelly. Thank you for putting up your hand here as I work. And as I feel your son here, you would have known that he would have seen, I'm going to say, active combat.
No, that wouldn't. No, he didn't.
No, would you have known then that within his training he would have done exercises like he was in active combat?
Yes.
Okay. Kelly, can you just stay there? Sandra, can we just throw this out again? Because I do feel that active combat with this young man.
Okay, so Kelly, you just stay just where you are.
Thank you, Kelly.
All right. And ladies and gentlemen, if anyone else can understand this information. Now, you had said originally young man, but you weren't certain as to son. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Well, Jules has her hand up as well. Let's bring in Jules. Jules, could you press your unmute button? Hi, Jules.
Hi. My father just had a military funeral 2 months ago.
Okay, Jules. Kelly, just stay there. But I feel as though this is with Jules, to be honest. Jules, you would recognize that Dad was in active combat at some part in his career.
Not active combat, but he was in the 82nd Airborne Division that does see a lot of combat.
Okay. Because I know this gentleman, he was very, very good at what he did. And I know that he maneuvered other members of his, under his command. I feel as though there was a group of them that worked together. Very, very much a team effort with what they did. Can you understand this?
Yeah, other than being a ranger, maybe it's not my dad because he didn't serve a whole lot of, he didn't deploy other than early on when he became a airborne ranger.
Shirley, and we do have one more hand up. I'm not saying
Okay,
this isn't with you, Jules,
can
but we
we
just
take
want to make
that?
sure it goes to
Okay,
the
sure.
right
Thank you,
person.
Jules.
Okay, we have Sherry. Hi, Sherry.
Hi. I don't know if this could be me or not, but I have two grandfathers that both were active duty. They both had military funerals. One passed away during active duty when he was quite young. He was in his early 20s.
Okay, can all three ladies continue to listen and we will work through this, because I feel as though I have a gentleman here. I feel as though he was in active service and he was very good at what he did. And I feel as though part of his job, he would have been a sniper or something along those lines, because he was very good at maneuvers, can I say?
Can one of you ladies take that?
Sherry, would you understand that?
Neither of them were necessarily snipers, but they did have to use guns and rifles and everything, but neither one of them were actually snipers.
Would you know though that one of them was, this person was very, very good with his rifle. He really,
Yes.
yes. Okay. I could have been wrong with sniper because I know very little about the military, but I just know that this gentleman was very, very good at what he did. And I know that he helped people that worked around him. It was within very much of a group, and he really loved what he did.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Sorry, my dog is making a lot of noise.
Pardon?
I'm sorry, my dog is in the background making a lot of noise.
Oh, don't even worry about your pooch. Now, I feel as though this gentleman, I feel as though he would have been flown home.
Yes.
Can you understand that? And I feel as though he is unloaded, so to speak, from the plane, already in his beautiful coffin.
Yes, that would have been actually my other grandfather then that would have happened to, yes.
Okay, I'm
Yes.
sorry for mistaking the relationship. I do know it's family. I do know there's a beautiful photo sitting on the coffin of him, and there is a flag there.
Yes.
Yes, and there is a long row of people paying their respect. Very, very, he was very well respected where I'm going to call it work, where he worked.
I'm sure, I'm not sure which one we're going back and forth between now. So with the one grandfather, I wasn't alive yet whenever he passed away. The other one, there was a lot of people there, and there was a big procession and a military funeral for him that I
There was a
witnessed.
military funeral. There was a lot of people there. There was a procession for him.
Yes.
And the flag was on his coffin with a beautiful photo of him.
Yes.
Yes. And these two items, I feel, are still in the family.
Yes, they are.
And they're absolutely treasured. And I feel as though they are put away, but they're actually brought out regularly to be looked at and to be talked about.
I think the flag is on display, and I have one of the photos. Yes.
Okay, thank you for that. And I know in this photo, he's a very, very, his stance is very, very handsome and very, I feel as though he holds himself very well, particularly in this photo.
Yes, he does.
And I know this gentleman, I feel as though he helped people, and I'm going to call it in his platoon. Would you know stories of that?
Yes, he earned some
Medals.
military medals. Yes.
Yeah. And I feel as though they're also still in the family. Actually, Jules, Sherry, would you have them?
I do not, but I do know who does.
You do know who does, because I feel as though these were presented to him, and it's such a shame he wasn't here to receive it. And I feel as though there was that feeling within the family about it all. But I feel as though there was a lot of support in the family for what he did, because he loved what he did. You can understand this.
Yes, I can.
And I know that, gosh, I feel here too also, Sherry, when he went, he left family here, like his own family.
I'm sorry, repeat that, please.
When he went to war, he left his own family here.
Yes.
He went to fight. And gosh, I feel as though his wife was so supportive of him.
Yes.
And she had to battle along on her own. And he was so proud of her. But when I listened to that song, Raise Me Up, that related so much to their relationship. Would you know this?
I've heard stories, but I didn't experience that because that was before I was born. But yes, I've heard stories.
But you would know your grandmother, very, very, very strong lady.
Yes.
And I also feel when they were together here, they would have danced together, and they were very good dancers.
Yes, they were.
Yes, and it's almost like she never got that last dance.
I'm sure that it was like that for her.
But I'm sure they're doing it now. Absolutely positive that they're doing it now. Yes. Now, I know this man was very well respected. I know he was a very good organizer, and I feel he was a multitasker.
I'm sure he was.
And this is what I feel is coming through for you at the moment. I feel as though you have so much on your shoulders at the moment. I just want you to step back. I know you're a good organizer, and I know you're a good multitasker. You can accept that.
Yes.
And there's almost a feeling here of just stepping back and looking at the wider picture.
Okay.
Can you understand that?
Yes.
Because I feel like sometimes when we're so involved in something, we can get so fixated on perhaps one thing or a couple of things.
I'm sure. Yes.
So this is what I want to say to you here. Your grandfather, I feel as though he was capable of being a jack of many things, because I know he could turn his hand to fixing things. I know he could turn his hand to organizing things. You can understand that.
Yes. Yes.
And it's like here, I know that you are of that similar cloth.
I would hope to aspire to that.
But I feel like sometimes just drawing back and just getting that bigger picture, just gaining better perspective on things. And I just feel like they're drawing close here just for support on those things, and allowing yourself just to receive that respect and love that is being shown to you. But I don't feel as though you're one that easily accepts it.
That's possibly true. Yes.
Because the respect this man is shown in his funeral is just overwhelming. He was so respected within life, and I feel as though he's so respected within the spirit world. Can you accept that?
Yes.
Okay. So what I really need you to do, or what I feel would be a good idea, is just to accept some of the help and the love and support that's been shown to you at the moment.
Okay. Thank you.
You don't have to do everything on your own and everything yourself.
Okay.
All righty. So I'll leave you with much love from your grandparents. You know, it's like they have so much respect and praise for their family, and this is what they're passing on to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, and thank you to those other ladies that were listening. I'm so grateful.
Thank you very much.
Okay, now Sandra, as I leave my awareness in the spirit world, so to speak, I feel as though I have a lady drawing close to me, and she's quite lovely, and I feel as though this particular lady, I want to say, I feel as though there was a strong possibility here that she passed, and I'm going to label it of medical misadventure, because I feel as though there was a muddle up with medication or her treatment. There was something here that went wrong within things that the medical profession put forward. Can anybody take this lady, please?
All right, thank you. Who understands this information? All right, we've got a couple ladies with their hands raised.
Okay, so we've got 3 ladies here. Now, I have to say this lady has got the most beautiful eyes. That is something that really, really stands out with this lady. And I feel as though you never got to see her just before she passed. Are we still all understanding this information?
All right. I'm going to lower your hands, ladies, because I know a couple extra hands went up. Make sure you can take every bit of information.
And I also want to say, Sandra, there is still questions around this lady's passing.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, we have 3, 4 that can take the information.
Wow. Okay. So each of these participants can understand a lady passing. I feel as though that she is in her earlier years rather than elderly. And it was, I'm going to say, medical misadventure. It's like I went into hospital and I never came out, and I should have come out.
All right, thank you, Shirley-Ann. Okay, I'm going to lower everyone's hands again, just to make sure everyone can take 100% of that information. If you can take 100%, please raise your hand back up. Okay, we have 3 with their hands raised. Oh,
And
I'm
I
so
also
sorry
want
for
to
your,
say, I also want to say, I feel like this is a family member.
okay.
This is somebody very close to you. We still have 3 here.
We do.
Now, I feel as though there could possibly actually be a court case looming about this situation. It was a very serious situation. Of course, losing somebody's life, but this was blatant medical misadventure.
Okay, and you're adding in that there's also a court case involved with it.
Yes, it's not a thought, it's not a theory, it happened.
Okay, so we have Yvonne with her hand raised. We'll bring in Yvonne.
Thank you,
Okay,
Yvonne.
just a moment here. And now Yvonne, you'll see a promote to panelist and just press yes. Oh, Yvonne, we're not going to be able to interact with you unless you press the yes button. You can keep your camera off. No problem. But it says you have an older Zoom that won't allow you to just speak. I'll give it one moment here.
Don't you love technology?
Oh, I do. I do. So Yvonne may not be able to take this information because she is not accepting. We'll bring in Alan, and I don't know if it's Alan behind the scenes or. Hi, Alan.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Ellen, can you take 100% of this information?
I can, apart from the court case, which it should have gone to court, but it didn't.
Okay, I'm happy to accept that because I feel as though there was thoughts around that because
Yeah.
what happened was very obvious. It was black and white. What
That's
happened?
right. Yeah.
Okay. And I actually feel at the time it almost robbed people of their grief because people were really angry about this.
Yeah, we still are.
Yeah. And because I feel as though this was such a beautiful young lady.
Oh, she was.
And I feel as though she left 2 children behind, Ellen. Can you understand that?
She left 5.
She left 5 children behind. Can I say then that 2 of them are quite a bit younger?
Yeah, her youngest is 3.
Yes, that's where I am. And because I feel particularly, apart from the whole incident, particularly sad for these 2 younger ones.
Yeah.
But I know that the family is really, really rallied around to try and take care of what's going on. Can you understand that?
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah.
And I also feel the financial pressure that things have caused.
Yeah.
But, I know that has taken an obvious seat, but emotionally it's taking very much of a back seat. Ellen, am I correct in saying this is your sister?
It is.
Yes. And I can feel this. I can feel that. I'm so glad you come forward because I can feel that love for you here. And it's almost like I knew you would step in because you didn't even think twice. You just stepped in to try and help and take care of your children.
I still do.
Yes. Okay. Now I do feel here, Ellen, that because that it happened so suddenly, I feel as though you didn't get a chance to say those final last words with her.
No, that's right.
Because you did have a bit to say to her. You really wanted to express to her truly how you felt.
Yeah.
But I feel you have been talking to her in spirit, and that's exactly what you've been saying to her. And you've been saying to yourself, can you really hear me? Do you really know this?
That's true.
Well, I feel as though that she's come through today to let you know that she has heard. But amongst that, there is great, great gratitude because you kept that torch flaming with what happened to her.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yes. And I know that so much of the responsibility has fallen back on you and relying on you to basically fix things long term. It's not a short term project.
No.
We're very, very aware of this.
Yeah.
Ellen, am I also correct in saying that your mum is also in the spirit world?
No, she's alive.
She's alive. Okay, because I do feel another woman putting her arm around your sister within the spirit world.
Oh, that would be my nan, which would
That
be
would
my
be
mum's
your
mum.
Nan. Okay. And Nan and your sister were very close.
Yeah.
Yes, because I can feel that love bond between them. And it's like she's taking care of her.
Oh, wonderful.
That was one thing that you were asking, because it was like you felt she needed to be taken care of.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But I want to let you know that things that you have asked and things that you have talked about have been heard.
Oh, good.
And it's almost, I feel as though the cavalry's on its way with help, because I feel as though you have struggled.
Big time.
Yeah. And there's been things in your mind like, am I doing the right thing? Is this the right decision? Will this lead down the right path?
You know me too well.
Well, I have to say to you, it's almost, I feel a bit of laughing here in the aspect of nothing come with an instruction book.
No, that's true.
But your sense of humor is holding you through. And your sister also had that sense of humor that you have.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
And she had a very, very, very soft heart, because I know through her life, she did get taken advantage of occasionally.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know brother was there front and center, but you wouldn't judge her and you wouldn't tell her what to do. That's why she felt like she could talk to you.
That's right.
And you would just sit and listen patiently. And I just feel that you would have, occasionally given her a kiss on her forehead.
Yeah, because you wouldn't let go anywhere else. So yeah, on the head.
Yeah. But I just want to send you all her love and appreciation for what you do. But I have to say, it's not only for her little family either. You help a lot of other people in the community.
Well, I do the same work as you. I'm a medium myself.
Ah, there you go. Isn't it lovely to get a message? Because we don't often get a message.
We don't. No, that's very true.
But you reach out to people that you know are in need.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's just part of you. That's just part of your nature. And your sister, I feel the worship towards you for doing this.
Thank you.
But she also, actually, she was also quite psychic, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And I don't think she actually did any training though.
No, she didn't. It come naturally.
But it was a very natural ability, because I feel as though from a little girl, she actually had experiences. And I feel like you two talked about it.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, quite often.
So I just want to leave you with all her love.
Thank you so much.
Confirmation, because it's almost like you wanted confirmation and you knew that your sister would give it to you.
I know, it's always nice to hear from her.
Yes. I will leave you with much love from her, lovey.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Ellen, you take a lot of care. You've got a big job ahead of you.
Oh, thank you, Alan. Thank you, Shirley.
Okay. Yeah, as I leave my awareness in the spirit world, I have a lady drawing close, and I know this lady would have kept herself beautifully. She very, very well presented. And I feel as though I'm gliding across the floor. This lady would have been a beautiful dancer, absolutely exquisite in her movements. I can feel her jewelry. I think it may have been costume jewelry, but I know she had a few bits of really, really expensive, exquisite jewelry within her wardrobe. And talking of her wardrobe, it was very extensive. And I actually feel as though this could be Mum here. Sandra, can we just put this out, please?
Absolutely. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you can understand this information, press your raise hand button.
We've got 2 participants.
Yes, we do.
Now, I also want to say, ladies, Mum's dancing was so beautiful. I'm not aware of whether she actually danced professionally, but she was definitely at that level.
All right, Stacy and Sherry, can you both still take that information? Oh, we'll bring Sherry back in. Let's see here. Sherry, could you press your unmute button?
Hello. Whoops.
Hi,
Hi
Sherry.
again.
Hi.
Well, is this your mum, Sherry? You can understand that
Yes.
as mum.
Yes, it
Okay.
is.
You know, there's determination here by the spirit world to speak to you, I feel. Now, your mother, I have to say, I would like to use the word divine. The way she presented herself was faultless. Can you
Yes,
accept that?
absolutely.
Sherry, am I correct in saying that you have a very particular ring of hers?
Yes, I do.
And it's a Bobby Dazzler. I'll use that expression.
It is quite stunning. Yes.
Yes. And she's very proud, I feel, that you have this ring. But I'd like to go back to her dancing days. Did she actually, would she have actually danced professionally?
No, but she thought that I would eventually, but she was not a professional dancer, but she was quite a beautiful dancer.
But people had told her that she should move in that direction.
Yes.
Yes, that's where I'm getting that from, because I can see her elegantly moving around the floor. And her, although she didn't dance professionally, I actually feel as though that she actually had gowns in her wardrobe.
I don't know if she didn't, as far as I can recall, but she could have earlier on.
Because I do feel that there would have been a set of very special clothes when she went out, because her wardrobe is very extensive. You can understand that.
Yes, absolutely.
And shoes. We love shoes.
Yes, she loved to shop.
There's a lot of shoes there, and some of them, I have to say, are particularly beautiful, because your mum had a real eye with style and fashion. You can understand that.
Yes, I can. Thank you.
And it didn't have to cost a lot of money. Mum, I'm not saying that mum went for all the bargains at all, because she didn't, but she had an eye, and the price didn't matter.
That's true.
Yes. So I can feel this amazing wardrobe here. And she's actually taking me into the wardrobe, and she's flicking back the coat hangers, and there's colors and colors and colors and colors. She wasn't a lady that just stuck to a uniform type of what she wore.
No, she wasn't.
And I know that often mum would go with her fashion, she would actually go out on a limb where people of her age wouldn't go.
Yes.
But she looked fantastic.
Yes, she did.
Say, people would comment on it.
That's right.
Like, I feel like she's commenting on my glasses at the moment. She quite likes them.
Oh, she would. She absolutely would.
And I feel with your mum a great love for you, but she also has a great sense of humor. I have to say it was a bit quirky, because she could see the other side of things as well.
Yes, it was.
And mum was also very good at showing you both sides of things.
Yes.
She would try and lead you to your own decision. Can you understand that?
Yes, I can.
And sometimes you turn around and think, I don't actually think that was all my decision.
Yes.
And I also feel with you, you'd often turn around and go, well, mum told me that would happen.
Yes, absolutely.
But she would allow you to do this. She wanted you to grow up a very strong, independent woman.
Those are her own words. Yes.
Yes, but she also wanted you to have a wider vision on the world. She wanted you to be able to accept people of all races,
Absolutely.
the whole general community as they were.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, I also feel as though I feel a healing quality with mum as well.
She was very maternal and very loving. So that in and of itself was very healing.
And I feel in her words, the way she spoke to people as well, because I know with mum, if she knew someone wasn't quite right, or she would ring them, perhaps, well, she would go and see them as well, but she always made sure she made that phone call. She would keep her links with people.
Yes, she did.
And Christmas cards. We like to
Yes.
get our cards, keep in contact with people. And that just kept the family together too, I feel.
Yes,
'Cause I
absolutely.
feel once mum passed, I feel the glue for the family kind of fell apart a little bit.
It did. Yes.
I do feel as though part of the family have turned that corner and are coming back together. Can you
That's,
understand that?
I hope so. I think that would be wonderful if that's the case.
Well, I do feel as though a corner has been turned. It feels as though severity has become a lot milder. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Yes. Sherry, I really feel with your mum, I feel like I want to tell you to glam up. Can you accept that? I want you to glam
Oh,
up.
yes.
I want
Yes.
you to get out there and I want you to feel mum beside you. Mum had the confidence of a wonderful out there lady. And this is where she wants you to be. Get yourself out front. Put yourself out front. Experience new things. Can you understand that?
Yes, I can.
Okay. You know, I love the expression, and somebody told me this expression a long time ago when my confidence was a bit low, to pull my Beyonce out of my boots. And this is what I want to say to you. It's been in those boots for a while, and I want to just draw it right up and be that Sherry I was, I am, and I need to be again.
Thank you for that.
Oh, lovely. I want to leave you with a lot of love from mum. And it just feels like she's kissing you all over your head. So I want to leave you with that from mum.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, lovely. Thank you for being here. Okay, now as I leave my awareness in the spirit world, I would actually like to talk about Dad. We've had a few ladies through, so and others, but I would like to talk about a dad. And I feel like Dad had a fascination with vintage cars or older cars because he knows so much about them. And I even feel as though he may have had a couple at home, not just one, a couple. Can anybody understand this, please?
Thank you very much.
Oh,
Sherry's got her hand up. Could it still be with Sherry? Do you want to talk to her, or we'll
possibly
narrow this down?
I'll narrow this
Say
down
a little
with
bit more.
a bit more
Okay.
information. Now I do know this car collection, it was worth a lot of money. There was a lot of money involved in this, but I know Dad liked tinkering with them, but there were certain parts with these cars he would accept the fact that he would have to take them to a specialist.
Okay, great. I'm going to lower hands, ladies, just in case one of them is by an error. All right, your hands are lowered. If you can take all of that information, go ahead and press your raise hand button again, please.
We still have Sherry. Oh, Sherry.
And Katie. Sherry
Okay,
and Katie.
now I will say about Dad, there was actually a special, I feel, garage or shed or outhouse, different countries call them different things, for these vehicles built.
All right, separate building for the vehicles. You ladies both take that information. Both hands remain up.
Okay, and when I'm talking about vintage cars, I almost want to even go back to the 40s, 50s, and I feel as though some of these vehicles were found in pretty bad states, and Dad set to renovating them.
All right, one hand went down, Sherry remains, and Deb just raised her hand. And Deb, you can take every bit of this information. We're making you work, Shirley Ann.
Okay, because I know these parts of these vehicles, particularly the lights and the bodywork, is all dismantled, and I feel it going in particular solutions to take off the paint and the rust and deal with these things. So he would strip vehicles right back.
Both hands up. Should I unmute them and you can hear their voice? Would that help?
Yes, please. Yes,
All
please.
right. All right, Deb, if you could unmute yourself. Hi, Deb.
Hi.
Hey, Sherry and Deb.
Hi.
Now, I also feel with Dad working on these were very particular vehicles, and I wish I knew the name of them. But I do feel it's like Mum, he would have been out in the garage, and you would have memories of Mum going, he's out there again. Dinner's ready, and he's out there again. It was that sort of thing.
So my
Yeah.
dad did not do the work himself. So this may not be me. He did some of the work, but he had people that helped him to restore them too. But yeah.
And what about you, Deb?
Yeah, he did everything himself. He would get the car, it was in bad shape, and then do the painting, the body work, everything.
My dad would hire those things out. He would restore them from like rusty things, and he had some brilliant ones, but he could do some of the things, but he didn't do all the paint and stuff like that physically himself.
Okay, could I just talk to Deb for a moment? But Sherry, just stay where you are.
Okay.
Deb, would you understand? Because I feel as though Dad, he would have rummaged around in sort of backyards and back of the backyards to get pieces that he needed, even if it was a rim around a light.
Yes.
And I know also too, he actually traveled long distances to get pieces for the cars.
I wouldn't know about that.
Can I use the word with Dad, a little bit of an obsession?
Yes, when he was younger. Yes.
Yes. And this is what he's bringing back, because this was his real joy. When he was out working on this cars, it's like he didn't hear anyone, he didn't see anyone. It was just focus on these vehicles.
Yes.
And you would have memories of going out to the garage and being with Dad when he was tinkering away.
Yes.
Yes, because I feel you as a little girl just standing next to him. And when you went out to him and got involved in his world, he just welcomed you right in. And I feel as though he would even hand you tools.
He did with my children.
Yes. Okay.
He would have my children take apart motors and all that kind of stuff.
All right. I do feel I'm with you, because there are parts of vehicles scattered everywhere on a workshop floor, and a lot of fun's being had with them.
Yes.
And I feel as though there was stories of things getting put back together, and there was the odd loose thing hanging around, and nobody knew where it was quite meant to go.
Yes.
And I feel with Dad, he had lots of little jars all over in the garage of nuts and bolts, and belonged to this vehicle and that vehicle. And I'm feeling like he had, would I be correct in saying he had old Ford vehicles?
That's kind of, I believe so. Yeah. Because they were, yeah.
These are real collectible vehicles.
Oh yeah, they're definitely collectible, worth money. Yeah.
Put together the way that Dad had put them was just pristine.
Yes.
And I feel as though Dad was very good at learning the tricks of the trade that he didn't know.
Yes. Yes. He was self-taught in a lot of things. Yes.
Okay. And I feel as though you'd remember Dad coming in, lots of grease, etc. But sometimes he'd banged his hand with equipment, and you would actually see this.
Yes.
Because I feel sometimes you would have actually stroked his hand and, poor Dad. Like that. Now, I want to say to you, Lovey, he's coming through, and I feel like you were his little star. Can you understand that? Because I feel as though you got treated slightly different to everybody else.
Yes.
And he just, I feel as though he just wants to grab your face and just crush your face and give you a big kiss.
Yes.
And I feel like when you were little, gosh, I feel like he used to lift you up and put you on his shoulders a lot.
I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Can you remember him lifting you up and even throwing you in the air?
Possibly. Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel that feeling with him. Great joy. It's almost like, I can't believe this little girl, I'm her father. And I know here that you have found it because I feel like you miss his support,
Yes.
particularly when he first left. His support for you, and I even feel, if I may say, Deb, financially, he could be very helpful.
No.
No, okay. Okay, we'll just let that flow out there. Deb, could I ask you then, did he help you with financial decisions?
No, there's an issue with this house right now.
Okay, that's possibly where that's coming in with the
Yes.
financial. Alrighty. Deb, there's a feeling here with that house or with things in general, like there's a feeling here he doesn't want you to lose any more sleep over it.
Okay.
Can you understand that?
Yes.
I feel the bickering around it. You can understand that.
It hasn't come to that yet.
Okay, but you know it's going to.
Yes.
Yes, and that's it. He's just giving me the feeling here of that foreseeing of what could possibly happen. But what I want to say to you is don't take things personally.
Okay.
Alrighty. Dad had a lot of strength about him, and he was always one looking at situations very realistically.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and although he wasn't, I want to say he was a straight talker, but when I say a straight talker, he was one with soft edges.
Yes.
Yes, which I might add, he got his point across easier and quicker because he took a softer road.
Yes.
And this is what I feel that is part of you also. So if you don't take things so personally, maybe you could be able to just take that softer road with things and get more of a result.
Yes.
Okay. Well, you know what? I want to leave Dad's love with you and the lovely memories of being in his garage. I even want to call it warehouse because it wasn't a small.
It was
garage.
huge.
Yeah.
It was bigger than a house.
When Dad did something, it was never on a small scale.
No.
He always thought 10 feet ahead of himself. Like,
Yeah.
I might end up with another 5 cars. I might want to transfer the end of my lovely shed into something else. And I
Yeah.
actually feel like sometimes he spent so much time out there, you might as well have given him a pillow and a blanket and a
Exactly.
And
Yes.
I feel like Mum almost did that once, half jokingly and half seriously. But I'll leave you with his love and his beautiful memories of his lovely little star that's still here, rallying the troops, so to speak.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay,
Oh,
Debbie.
thank you very
so
much,
much
Deb.
for your participation.
And
Thank you,
Shirley
Sandra,
Ann,
for this morning.
thank you from all of us, just for being
Thank you.
here and just giving yourself so generously. Really beautiful. Thank you. And of course to
Thank you.
Mary Alice too, and my pal Darren, we love you. So announcements and things coming up for the week. First of all, with the medium demonstration, I know we're always on the edge of our seat to see if our loved one will come through. And I just want to ask, if your loved one was going to come through today and they did work through Shirley Ann, just say, what if? You know, what would they tell you? What would be the message? What would you need to hear to let them know that, let you know that they're really here with you? The thing is, they are here with you, and they want so desperately to know that they have arrived safe and sound. They're in their best skin, their best age, their best health. Any suffering is gone. They are happy, well, whole, and complete. I would give you everything I could if I could bottle up the past 25 years of what I have experienced and give it to you. Grief is the worst thing I think any of us can possibly go through. And when we're talking about hope and comfort this week, that's the whole reason that I moved out of my comfort zone and started talking to people about what I knew about the afterlife, because I thought this needs to be shared. There's too much suffering going on. Now, grief is something that we have to go through no matter what we believe. And that's one of the reasons I wrote my book, We Don't Die. And I offer it freely. You never have to pay for it. At our website, which is wedon'tdie.com, click that store button, find the audio book. You can use coupon code FREE. And within the audio book is the written version. So if you'd like to read it, it's there. Chapter 10 is how to survive grief, because grief is a monster. It's awful. And I know it. So I want to help in any way. We all do. And this is why we've come together with our Sunday gathering, really, to bring hope and comfort. And it's also the reason why we do these online courses. It's the reason why Scott Milligan and Carrie and Phil, they do these courses, not only for you to have this hope and comfort, but for you to know that you are this magnificent soul with all these wonderful, delicious powers that are natural to all of us. And once you use them, I mean, your lights shine and you can help other people. So I want to just weave in with our words of the week, also with what's going on. Tomorrow we start our 4-session class with Scott Milligan, and he is a trance medium. The class is called Trance in the Altered States. But you may want to be interested in trance mediumship, or you may just want to have a closer connection with your loved one. It gives you the place and the peace to be able to slow down and be so present that you can actually feel them with you. And you don't, of course, need a course to do this, but being part of a structure, any one of our courses, it helps us weekly remember the bigger picture and who we are and how it all works. But certainly talk to your loved ones, keep their picture nearby, keep remembering happy thoughts and times that you've shared together. And they give you these subtle little feelings and pictures, and maybe memories come into your mind. That's how they communicate. We are so, we're living in a time where, we need big things to happen, big signs, lights to go on and off. Well, it doesn't work that way. They work through these subtle things about ourselves. Carrie and Phil teach a beautiful class on Wednesdays called Psychic Development. And it is just that. It's learning how to get this information or feel this information, because it always comes into all of us. And, we call it an intuition or a gut instinct. But Mary Alice and Shirley Ann will know it's how to harness those feelings and where they come into our body, how they can feel in our belly, and how we can know what we're picking up, this intuition and gut instincts, how it really works. And then on Thursdays, there's a class called Mediumship, and that's using that same psychic faculty. Once you figure out how it all works and you start working with the spirit world, you distinguish that from another person that's alive. It's a person that's no longer walking, but they are still very, very, very much alive. On Tuesdays, there's a brand new course we're offering for the month with Phil and Carrie called the Spiritual Assessment. And every single one of us has our gifts, whether it's psychic or mediumship or art or music or whatever. But this is a class to help you help others distinguish what those gifts are. So that'll be 4 Tuesdays in the month of April. Also, I mentioned about Mavis Patilla doing the beautiful sitting tomorrow. That's just before Scott's class. Also on Tuesday, Scott offers a couple of times of sitting in the power hour, we call them, where you can close your eyes and build this personal power. And then on Friday, we have sitting for healing with Scott, and also a demonstration of trance mediumship. There's a couple other classes with Carrie and Phil coming up about clairvoyance, about how to give private readings. Oh, and there's so much more. And every time I talk about the what's coming up, I feel like I'm trying to sell you guys on something. I certainly am not. I just know that if you stay plugged in to something like a course that meets weekly, it helps us all really remember the bigger picture. And I have seen miracles happen in the psychic class and the medium class, where you're working with someone just practicing, and all of a sudden you're bringing through their loved one, or they're bringing through your loved one. We all have the capability, just need to learn how to use it. That's all. So the beautiful classes, everything's got a money back guarantee that we offer. So join us. Would you join us? Come on, join us. And as far as going forward this week, as far as comfort, if you feel like it right now, give yourself a big hug. You can do it. You can do it. I know many of us are alone and don't see people on a regular basis, but we've got this support group around us. We really do. And yesterday, I had lunch with Roberta Grimes. I don't know if you know who she is, but she's got a very big podcast. She's written tons of books on the afterlife, and she's an attorney. She's a beautiful lady. But she was talking to me about her spirit guides. And I'm like, you know, your spirit guides? Like, to me, that was crazy. And I know Scott has been talking about this also, is if we can quiet ourselves down enough and not just talk to our loved ones, but there's somebody who's been with you before you were born till now. They'll be one of the first to greet you when you get there, but that loves you more than anybody ever has. And this is, you can call him a guide, you can call him a friend. And Roberta was just telling me, and Scott has told me this too, that it sounds like your own voice speaking to you. And I just think, isn't that wonderful? So all of a sudden an idea comes, could it be them? And she says with her guide, she calls him Thomas, she says it's actually moved to now she can hear a male's voice, but it's not in her head anymore. She says it feels like it's just over my shoulder. And she says, that's when I know it's him. So I know what I'm doing this week is trying to talk to my people and just know that that comfort and love is there. Because right now we trust and we hope for it. But boy, someday we're going to open our eyes in that world unseen. And there's just going to be a huge group of people saying, see, we've been here the whole time. We have. And the last thing I want to mention is what you give, you receive. So if you need a little comfort, give it to somebody else. If you need a little hope, give it to somebody else. If you need a little laughter, give it to somebody else. You can generate it, you bet. You're an amazing person. You're very powerful. And like Mary Alice said, just do one small thing and that power is going to come. So anyways, our home base is wedon'tdie.com. There's lots and lots of good things going on, lots of great episodes to listen to. Take me up on that copy of the book, especially to get through grief. It will help. It really will. And last, just thank you all who have shared so generously and made our Sunday gathering possible. We know many of you have donated, and whether it's a couple dollars or more, we appreciate it. It's not mandatory, but it really does help us. So thank you. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Darren for our closing prayer. Then we've got a fun song at the end.
Thank you for that, Sandra. And it's been wonderful to sit and watch and be part of this Sunday gathering. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. So I hope you guys have as well. So now, if you'd like to close your eyes and join me for the closing prayer. We'd like to give our thanks to our friends, brothers and sisters from across the globe for joining us here today, uniting together as one under that banner of We Don't Die, and allowing us all to experience that opportunity of the joy and celebration of uniting the two worlds together as one. We'd like to express our sincere thanks and gratitude to all those friends, helpers and loved ones in that world we call unseen, for allowing us the opportunities to work with your world and for your world, and continue to do these Sunday gatherings week in and week out, and having the trust in us to deliver on your behalf. As always, this is done with the utmost integrity and respect, and we hope we've represented your world in the right way and done you proud. It's been an absolute joy and privilege, and we'd like to thank you for feeling your healing balm, your wise thoughts and your words of truth, which has truly brought us all those moments of healing and upliftment. And for that, we thank you. As we bring this Sunday gathering to a close and move into a new week, we've all got our own pathways and journeys to tread, and we've all got our own learning and understanding, but we can do this with hope within our hearts and our minds. Hope for ourselves, hope for our friends and family, hope for our world, and hope for humanity. And we can do this in the comfort and knowledge to know that you continually walk by our side day in and day out, helping us, guiding us, and inspiring us to be the best that we can be. And we'd like to thank you for giving us comfort to know that love and life are both eternal and never ending. And we ask that a healing balm continues to be sent throughout the week, across our lands to bring hope and comfort to all those minds that are in need at this time, going through moments of trauma and upset. And we ask that a healing balm be sent to some of our leaders to try and bring an end to the insanities going on across our world today. So until we meet again, friends, we send you all our love. Amen.
Thank you very much, Darren. And again, thank you to everyone who's here and to our special guests, Shirley Ann and Mary Alice, to you at home, to the spirit world, to just all. So this is a closing piece of music that Carrie has picked, and it is definitely a feel-good one. Here we go.